if you ever been refused a visa or you want to avoid this reason, then stay here to the end of the video. And then the reason here is that there are reasonable doubts for your intention to leave the member state before the period of your visa expire, right? So if you ever see that statement before, these are some of the reasons why the embassy says that. And I'll give you 5 categories or some of the things that you can use to prove that you return to your home country. What that statement means is that they are doubting that you leave their country before the expiring date of your visa. I mean the short stay visa. So how do you correct that? On many occasions, you have been receiving this letter from applicants that says that they got their visa denied because of that reason. Now, number one, what the consular wants to see here is that they want you to prove beyond certain point that, okay, this is a genuine travel, this is a genuine purpose why you are going, and then you must return for 1 or 2 reasons. What are some of the reasons? The reason is that people have been making mistakes a lot. They just out document without explaining it. Is that okay? You have to explain why your presence is important. Let me pick it one by one, and I'll give you more examples on what got others denied. As a travel consultancy, we have been receiving a lot of this information from our clients and then other people, right? So this is how we resolve that. Now, number one is your job or your business. So the point here is that the whole key here is that you have to show something that without you, the thing won't be successful. Is that okay? That is the point here. That is what we are calling a home ties. That is something that you have to show that you retain, right? So your job and then your business is one of them. The first one on my list here is your job and then your business. So if you are an employee, how do you go about that? So the employee, I think most of us have an idea of that. You need an appointment letter if you are working under a company, and then you need a leave letter from the work, so signed by the director or the employer of your institution or your company. Yeah. So the last time I saw a leave letter that did not even state the starting date of your period and where they are expecting you to resume work. It's very, very bad. The letter must specifically state that you are going on holiday or they have given you a holiday from this date, and then they are expecting you to return on this date, or they are expecting you to resume work on this date. Are you getting it? So signed by the director of what? Your institution, right? So the director can even write in a letter that you play a major role in their company or in their institution or whatever. If it's a minor business, you can state that your role is very, very important for the progress of the business. Therefore, they are expecting you to come back on this particular date to continue your profession. Is that okay? So that is number one if you're an employee. And then remember, I will not talk about bank statement and other stuff here. That will be for another video. You can consider checking our video on that, right? On the bank statement issue. Now, the other part of the job here is that this is where you are a business owner, you are self-employed. How do you show that, okay, I'm just going on holiday, I'm just going on visit, and then I will return back because of my business? Is that okay? So in this case, you are going to add your business registration certificates or documents, a tax clearance. I don't know, majority of you don't pay tax. So at the end, you struggle to provide a tax clearance. Make sure that you register with your revenue authority in your country for them to have a tax clearance. It's very, very important. It also boosts the application. It shows us you are responsible. You see, when you go to the Western life, that is something they don't joke about at all. It's a tax. So if you don't pay tax, so you have to make sure that you add your tax clearance to the business registration documents. So aside that, what shows which role do you play in the business? Are you the CEO or founder, a manager, or whatever? Is it a partnership? Is it a limited company? Is it something? You have to make sure that you stay your role. Is that okay? So if you are an employee, if you are an employer or the business owner, you say that you are the CEO and your client needs you, your clients, they all need you to sign some of the invoice, have a meeting with them. And then if you have a contract going on that you have to sign with the client, you have to add that contract to the application. Are you getting the point? So maybe you have shipped some goods, that the goods is coming, and then they needed your presence to clear that goods. You can add that invoice to the application. So your cover letter is your speaker here. Your cover letter will be what? A spokesperson. Is that okay? Your cover letter is going to talk for you. You have to explain that in your cover letter. So because of this contract going on, whether you're going, you have to return before that contract to come and sign. Blah 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 blah. Are you getting it? Or because of the meeting that you'll be having with this institution, or because of a business arrangement you're having for this institution, you have to return back and come and attend the meeting. Of course, visa application is all about evidence. You have to make sure that you are adding evidence of the document to the application, right? So that is the only way. Verbally, it is not guaranteed here, right? So make sure that you get all those documents. Okay, that is for the business. So the second part here is going to be your family, right? So your family are another priority. If you are married, I know that people add their marriage certificate. Is that okay? You add your marriage certificate. If you don't have a marriage certificate, I saw one guy who added a pictorial evidence of the marriage. So for him, during the application or it was a legal marriage, during their registration, they happened in the 2020 COVID-19. I don't know why he doesn't want to invite a lot of people. Maybe that is all they got. So they didn't endorse that at any registrar department. So okay, so he added the pictorial evidence. You see, they have a backdrop. You see, those kind of program, wedding program, engagement. They have a backdrop with their names and then 2020 written on it boldly, right? So you see people, they were sitting down in form of a ceremony. So they added that to the application. You can also do that if you don't have a legal document or marriage certificate to add to the application, right? And even a family life, right? Pictures and all those things. But if you have a marriage certificate, it's a plus, right? So if you're a Muslim, I think Muslims also have their certificates, and then the other one, so the court one, ordinance, and the customary marriage, anything to prove that you are a family person. Now the other side is your children, right? So if you have a children, and then the only thing to prove that you have a child is your child birth certificate. You see, people have been making mistakes. So we in our country, this is our birth certificate, right? So when you check on the birth certificate, every birth certificate has the applicant, the owner, the child name, you being the child name, your parents' details are there. So when they check the name of your child, and then they see the portions of the parents where they've written father, you can see that if you're a man applying, your name will be there as a father. So if you are a woman, your name will also be there as the mother. And that name must be the same name on your legal documents, just such as a passport and the other stuff. If there's a change of name, you have to make sure that you correct that. So in our case, you have to add an affidavit, declaration, or maybe a gazette if you have a change of name. Are you getting it? So that is the connection, right? So how many children do you have? You add their documents to the application, right? Yeah, so that is for the family side. But if you are getting some value from this video, why don't you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any other questions, so make sure that you just comment in the comments. If you need our help in arranging your documents or any guideline consultation regarding your visa application, just make sure that you type in the comment section below consultation, right? You just send your form and then you fill it and you reach out to. We have been doing this thing worldwide, right? So nationwide and then worldwide, wherever you are, we do this thing. Because short stay is just about the document presentation. Is that okay? All right. So number 3 is going to be your property. It says some of the countries, currently speaking, they are no more taking a property. So as I say at the beginning of this video, this should be something that without your presence, it's going to be difficult for the team to move on, right? To progress. Is that okay? So a country like Netherlands is no more taking a property by the time of making this video. The reason why I like making this comment here is that I don't know, immigration laws keeps on changing. In the near future, it's likely that they will change that. Are you getting the point? So very, very simple and straightforward. But other countries also do accept property, right? So the property like this is showing that you are well living. You are not going to be a burden in their country. How many properties do you have? When we are talking about property can be anything. It can be a house, your cars, inheritance, what and what, a whole lot. It's okay, anything that you consider as a property, you can add those documents to it. So when I say a document here, make sure, let me make this declaration. There was this guy who was applying for a visa. He added their company documents to the application, original documents to the application, and then at the end, the embassy did not return the original document. You see, the embassy also keeps a reference. They keep notes of everything that they do in case of anything. So if you have ever been to the embassy before, you see that on their notice everywhere they're boldly written there that make sure that you make a copies of all the original documents. Failure to do so, you will not get your original documents back. So any original document that you are adding, make sure that you make a photocopy of what the document. So you are going to add the original and then the documents at the end of your visa application. The embassy will keep the copies and then return all your original documents to you. Every original document is yours. It's also the documents are for you. So the embassy has no right to keep your original documents unless those documents that are not, let's say, permanent documents. When I say permanent, it's like a birth certificate. Those are original documents. Embassy do not keep your original documents. They only keep the photocopies. So failure to do a photocopy attached to the application, that is where you are going to be in trouble. So make sure that you abide by those things. If you have a car, you add your car papers to the application. So just for instance, a car papers are original papers. So if you don't add the photocopies to the application, the embassy are going to keep your car papers, original documents, and you're going to be in trouble. So very, very key here. Is that okay? So those are some of the things so that is number 3. So number 4, if you're a student, you are applying. If you're a student applying, then one way to show that you return to your home country, I mean, when I say a student, you are currently schooling. So one way to show that you return is your admission letter. So the day that you got admission, you can add admission. If you have a student ID card, you add a student ID card to the application. And then some even go further to take a letter from their lecturers, their professors, supervisors, or the head of department to prove that they are still schooling. Is okay? Maybe school fees receipt that you pay your next academic year. Those things are some of the documents to prove that you are a student, and indeed you are not going to stay or overstay there. You surely return to your home country and come and continue your education. There was a lady recently who she has completed. So as a part of the reward from the father wanted to take her on holiday outside. She's going alone, right? So outside the country for an enjoyment, or maybe it's a promise the father made to the daughter that if she's able to complete the school, she will send her outside to go and enjoy 1 or 2 and then come back and continue the education. She has completed. I think that was a tertiary. She has completed, and then she also applied for a master's in the USA, and then she has gotten an admission, waiting for the academic year to start. Then she will depart from or apply for the visas and then move to the USA for the education. Right? So how did she go about that? So she has to add those documents, the letters from the school that shows that she has been admitted into their institution. Is that okay? So when she was applying for the visit, of course it's not a USA, it's an Europe country, right? So those European countries, that's where she's going to enjoy the holiday. So she added those documents to the application to show that it's not something that she's going to overstay in Europe. She will come back and come and prepare and then go and continue her master's in the USA. Obviously, those are some of the documents that you have to show the connection, right? So if you are currently schooling, that's what, as I said earlier on, you have to add those documents to the application. All right. So let's get the fifth one. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel. Comment down below if you have any issue. Give us a thumbs up. That's the only way we can boost this channel, right? Okay. So lastly is the responsibility. Talking about responsibility is a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Uh, One guy who was applying for school in Spain has nothing to show that he will return back from apart from what because he just completed school. He has no job. He has no nothing. But he's living with the grand I think so the grandmother. Yeah, the grandmother here. So how do you show that? That's a responsibility. Being a responsible person means that, as I said, without you, the thing will not move on, or it will be very difficult to handle. Right? So that is what we are talking about here. If you have a child that you pay a school fees, you can add the school fees receipt to the application. So everything that I'm saying has to be demonstrated in your cover letter. You have to explain that step by step in your cover letter. Because you are a father, you are a mother, as part of your responsibility, you are attaching the school's receipt or the payment to the application. Right? That is very simple and then what? And straightforward. Do you pay any bills in your house? Which house? I don't know. Is it a meter, a prepaid meter, or a water bill, or something like that? Those things must bear your name, right? So if those ones bear your name, you have to add them to the application. So those are some of the responsibility. Okay, you have been taking care of your mom, your dad, your elderly person. You have any sick person in your house, or maybe something that, okay, you have been taking that person to hospital all the time, and the medication, you are the one who have been catering for that person, right? So those are some of the things. If you don't have any document to show that, you always need an affidavit, endorsed affidavit. You go to a commissioner of oath or notary public for them to type it for you, and then you stamp it. They will stamp. Once they stamp, and then you sign it. Are you getting it? For me, like this, let's say I've been taking care of my sister's children. They are no more here. They are not in the country. So when I'm applying, I have to make sure that I attach there some of their even pictures of me being attending the school meetings and then other stuff. And then does everything in the paper form. You say visa applications are about evidence. Right, visa application is all about evidence. You have to prove that, okay, these are the documents, these are the supporting documents, these are something that you are using to prove or to back your statement. Right, these are some of the responsibilities that we can classify here when it comes to the home side. There's nothing beyond that. Okay, let me give you a scenario. There was a man applying for a visa application. What they did here is that I think the applicant will be having a funeral arrangement ahead of him, maybe let's say 2 months or 3 months ahead of him. You see, so they added the poster. You see the poster, the banner for the funeral. Wow. They added the banner for the funeral, right? So that banner has the applicant's name under. I get to know. I don't know. I can't remember if he falls under the children or the grandchildren or something like that. I don't really remember. So because his name is on the banner, they even stated that in the cover letter that because he has an ongoing program that he has to attend, which is the funeral in this case, because of that, he is assuring the embassy, the consular, that he will return back to come and continue his responsibility. I get to know. Those are some of the responsibilities that we are talking about in this case. Is that okay? So almost anything that you want to attach to the application to show that indeed you are not going to overstay, you can do that. But it must be in the document form. Are you getting it? Okay, now those of you who are church members, right? So I have a list of some few items here. Church members. So you are a church member, or you are a Christian, you attend to church, you have been playing some role, instrumentalist, singing, prayer warriors, a leader, elder, all those things. You can have a letter from your head pastor right? Anybody in authority in that letter can be saying that, okay, because you play a special role in the church and then you are traveling on a visit, on a tour, on whatever the reason may be, then they are expecting you to return back and come and continue your role, documented. Are you getting it? That is one. So community. Community, okay, what do you do in your community? Are you a voluntary worker? What do you do? What do you support a community? You can get someone in an authority, assemblyman, MP, or the religious leaders. They can even endorse the paper for you. Once they endorse, they show that, okay, this is what you have been, this is the role that you have been playing in the community. So for that reason, once you are going on a holiday, they are expecting you to come back and come and accomplish or come and continue your duty. So there was a guy who was applying to a Netherlands. So I think he was a electrician. Yeah, electrician in that community. So he spoke to the assemblyman. The assemblyman endorsed a letter for him to be attached to the application. Are you getting it? Because I think he has now been fixing the is it the community lights and then those petty community, the rural areas. Is it rural? Yeah, the areas, the community centers, anything concerning about the electrical issues and the other stuff. So he got the assemblyman to sign a letter for him to be added to the application. I've already mentioned about a voluntary these things, and then the elderly people that you also be taking care of. All those things have to be endorsed in the paper form. Are you getting it? Not verbally. And then the only way to explain your application, this is a bonus one, never and ever submit your application without adding a cover letter to the application. The cover letter is just like a content of what your application. When you pick a book, you open the first two pages, you can see that the book has a content, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on and so forth. I get it. The same thing applies to your cover letter. The cover letter summarizes everything about your visa application. I get to the point. So any document that you add to your application must be explained in your cover letter. You see, the cover letter boosts your application. Most of the consulates, I may say that they will not have a time to read all your application, but it's not true. That statement is a fallacy. They always take their time to read your application very, very well. That is why they give a duration on how or the number of applications that they can handle during a number of a period, right? But if you are able to state everything in your cover letter, to state everything or summarize everything in your cover letter, you are making the work very, very simple for the consular to make a decision. And then I wish you the best of luck decision by the consular if you're able to abide by this.